Welcome to the podcast. It's the best podcast in the world. This is going to end up on the show. I know it, motherfucker.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 117 of Epitome of Stupidity, your favorite allegedly metal podcast. Today's tune is brought to us by Left Lane Cruiser, and it is some excellenteness called Black Forest Blues. More about that and them here shortly. Until then, how about a little bit of this?
Sonic Temple Art and Music Festival, the pinnacle of rock festivals in America, returns in 2025 with Linkin Park, Korn, 2 nights of Metallica, No Repeat Weekend, plus Bad Omens, Incubus, Alice in Chains, Rob Zombie, 3 Days Grace, Alice Cooper, I Prevail, Jimmy Eat World, Chevelle, Motionless in White, and so many more. May 8th to the 11th at historic Crew Stadium in Columbus, Ohio. Passes on sale now at SonicTempleFestival.com.
Yeah, man. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. And this will probably be the last time I get to tell you this before Christmas, because I think this will be the last show for the year. But anyways, point is, those Sonic Temple tickets, not only is that going to be a lot of fun, but those will make great Christmas presents. So as your shopping enthusiast advisor, I'm going to advise you to get some Sonic Temple tickets and go to the show. Yeah, man, I'll see you there. Anywho, if you're new here, I'm Clint. I'll be your host. If you're not new here, I'm still Clint. I'll still be your fucking host. And this is the part, if you're not new here, you'll know that I'm going to tell you about some Brimming Horn Meadery. Go to brimminghornmeadery.com, use code EPITOMEAD, that's EPITOMEAD, and you'll get a 10% discount on your order of the delicious fucking mead, which will also make a great Christmas present, because who doesn't want some mead on Christmas? That's how the song goes, isn't it? Something about a Yule log, a fire, some mead, your drunken memories of it all. It's going to be good. This is where I tell you about what I'm listening to. To be completely frank with you, I've been on vacation the last week and handful of days through Thanksgiving and stuff, and I've been kind of relaxing. I got back into some delving, I should say that without the half-ass G there. I just said half-ass G. I've also started going through what I think is going to be my top 5 for the year. I'll post something about that on the socials. Hey, if you don't, you should follow the podcast on the socials. And also some morphine, because they're good, relaxing music along with delving, who have been doing some shows there in your Europe, is what I'm trying to say. I was skipping. And, boy, howdy, that looks like fun. I'd really love to see those guys. Instead, it looks like we're going to get an Elder tour. Yeah, I'll take that too. Anywho, so we're going to talk with Left Lane Cruiser here. And I've already had this conversation. I can promise you that it is fucking good. My guy, Freddie, cuts a legit fucking Miller Lite commercial at one point, and it's better than anything they could pay people to do. I don't understand how he's not going to make millions off of it, and I would like a cut, but whatever. I'm not going to waste a lot of time here. Let's just jump right into that conversation, because he's more fun than me trying to talk about them without actually talking to them. Phone sounds from the past. Go. Beep, boop, 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 ring. And the answer. On the line with me today is Freddie of Left Lane Cruiser. Freddie, how the hell are you today?
Awesome, man. How you doing?
I'm not too fucking shabby. I'll tell you what, though, I've done no small amount of fucking driving today, and there are people in a certain lane that piss me off, and based on your name, I just want to make sure that when you're in the left lane, when we're saying cruising, you mean doing a speed that's technically illegal, right?
Oh, yeah.
Thank God.
Put the hammer down, brother. Hell yeah.
Now that that's out of the way, what you listening to lately?
Well, we were just listening to Small Them Witches a little bit ago. We're big fans of those dudes. I listen to a lot of Jimbo Mathis. His record Knockdown South is basically something I listen to every day. A lot of old shit, man. Just old stuff. I don't really listen to anything modern. All Them Witches is about as new as I get. some other stuff like Mdu Mokhtar. I like that dude. He's one of those Senegalese guitar players or Nigerian, I think. He's a badass, like, African, like Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of stuff, like Ali Farke Toure, and it's killer stuff. He's blowing up. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's like Grammy nominated now, and but yeah, I mean, Grand Funk Railroad. I always listen to that Red album, man. I mean, the classics, dude.
Hell yeah. How about, speaking of classics, or some stupid ass way that I'm going to act like I tied this together professionally, let's talk about Left Lane from inception to now. Give us the cliff notes on it.
Well, long story short, I was working at a Denny's down in Indianapolis in 1999. And I met my future wife there, and she was moving back to her hometown, Fort Wayne. And I followed her back to her town, and I had been playing like open mics and solo stuff. And she was starting to get to the point where she was like, "Look, I think you need a drummer. You can do something with this." And she had gone to high school with Bryn, and she's like, my buddy Brent from high school was a blues drummer all over town for the last, God knows how many years. And y'all should get together. So I made him a little cassette tape recording of what I was working on, and waited to hear back from him. And he called me back the next day and said, "Hell yeah, let's rock." And I think we got together the day after that for our first practice and put together Cheyenne, one of our earliest songs, and Shake 'Em On Down. We worked out the cover from R.L. Burnside. And then from there, it just took off, man.
Fuck yeah, man. I was looking through some of these things earlier, and I saw where at some point there's some lineup changes that are mentioned. A bass player here for a minute who also plays electric skateboard.
Yeah, well, originally me and Bren started like for the first couple months as a two-piece, and then our buddy Jesse Garrett joined the band, and he was our first bass player. We did one record that's pretty obscure, RV Burnslide, with him, but he was pretty busy with his career and stuff, and we kind of knew he wasn't really going to be able to hit the road, so we kindly parted ways. He's still our good friend, and then me and Brent went on as a two-piece for the next 10 years. After 10 years, we were kind of like starting to want to experiment a little more with the sound. Our buddy Joe Bent then joined the band on bass, and he also had built himself a lap guitar out of a skateboard. And also at that current time, he was in another band with Bryn called White Trash Blues Revival. So the two bands kind of hit the road a little bit together. And then right around that time, this would be around 2015, Bryn's work career and family life was calling for him to stay at home more, and he wanted to take a break from the band. And so he stepped out of the band, and the other drummer in White Trash Blues Revival, Pete Dio, stepped in. And so then it was me, Pete, and Joe for the next year or so. Me, Pete, and Joe did a record called Dirty Split Blues. But then, once again, touring life wears people down in certain ways, and we had to let go of Joe. And then me and Pete went on as a duo to do Dirty Split Blues or Claw Machine Wizard and Shake and Bake. At which point, at the end of Shake and Bake, the road had started wearing Pete down as well. And he stepped out, and Brent stepped back in, because by that time, Brent had been out of the band for 5 years and was ready to come back. And that's where we currently are right now. That was about 5 years ago. Me and Brent have been touring ever since, and just dropped our first record back together in June, which was Bayport Barbecue Blues.
Because of all the conversation there, what is an average day like on tour for you guys?
Fucking driving. That's about it. Sleeping in a parking lot every night. No matter how good you do, we all raise families, so I can make 10 grand at one show. I'm still going to sleep in a parking lot. It doesn't matter. Not that we do make 10 grand in one show. We're working there. But man, I mean, it's literally like everybody, like, it's like grass is greener. Like everybody who isn't able to tour just kills to do it. And then, once you are doing it, like, don't get me wrong, I'm living my dream, but I mean, it's no sleep. It's you know, it's Groundhog's Day. It's the same fucking thing every single fucking day, man. But it's great at the show, meeting the people, seeing the love, you know, seeing how important music is, bringing people together. Like all that shit is super meaningful. But you know, the parking lot, truck stop, fucking interstate shit is not. You know.
I can see how that would get old pretty fucking fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're out now with my old friends, our old as in the podcast. I guess I don't know how to say that at this point. 20 Watt. Say hi to Tom and Mitch for me.
Absolutely.
How are the shows going? How's the tour going?
They're great, man. They're great. Mitch is taking a break too. He's back at home.
I've got the damn thing because I saw a video where it didn't look like him behind the drums, and I thought, there's no way. How's it 20 Watt without?
Yeah, Tom's been using a drummer named Derek. I can't remember Derek's last name, but he was in a lot of other bands that we used to play with back in the day from Lansing, Michigan, Wormfoot, and a couple others. He drummed for St. Chris, and he's a phenomenal drummer. But you know, I can't speak upon their band history, but I know Mitch had a kid, and you know, that's just shit happens like that, man, where the family becomes more important than the road, you know.
Sure,
so
yeah.
Everybody's got to do what they got to do. And but the shows are going great. We're all super stoked to be out here. We got added to this tour last minute. Horseburner dropped off, and so we really only confirmed this tour like about a week before it started. So we're grateful for any turnout, but it's been going good, man, real good.
Fuck yeah. I know the newest album, Bayport Barbecue Blues, that you already mentioned there, that came out back in June, right?
Yeah. Yep. Early June.
Looking through the discography, is it just me, or are there a lot of food-related album titles in there?
Yeah. You know, there's kind of a saying between me and Brandon about like the song contents of our or the contents of our songs are usually related to food and fucking, you know. I mean, that's basically the main forces of our inspiration, as you know, is everybody's, I think.
That is the fucking smartest thing I've heard today.
Right on.
Food and fucking. How has the response been to the album?
Oh, we're blown away, man. It's been really great. Everybody has sent us so much love. From like every corner of the industry, bookers, promoters, the label, our fans. We've been really, really pleased with the reaction, and super grateful for everybody digging the record.
Fuck yeah. Over the years, you know, of which there are no small amount for you guys, have there been reactions to songs, albums, what have you, that caught you completely off guard, good, bad, or otherwise?
I guess, like, you know, songs that you didn't think were gonna be like a popular song, it becomes a popular song. I guess that catches you off guard a little bit. In reality, man, like we make records to tour, you know, so we're looking for new songs in the set list. I don't think any of us ever make a record and expect to go play the whole record out on the road. So one thing that surprises me is how many requests we get for songs that have never been played live. And I guess when you think about it, it makes sense because they've never fucking heard it, so they want to hear it. But for us, it's tough because people don't understand. Like some songs, like were born in the studio and they die in the studio. Like, you know, like the tracks. I might have got ridiculous and put 3 guitar lines on something, and it just don't sound right with just one. You know, so or maybe sometimes I was stupid and I cut the guitar and then cut the vocals separate and realized I couldn't sing it and play it at the same time. You know, that's always fun. But yeah, I mean, that's basically the reactions that we get are kind of like just those obscure songs that, like, you know, a song that we've totally forgotten about, like that even existed. Somebody will call out for it and be like, "How the hell did you even remember that, man?" You know?
What's like a typical writing cycle like for you guys? I'm fucking fascinated at the idea of a 2-man band and sorting these things out, and I want to figure out smart ways or elongated ways to like needle pick at that, but I think the easier way might be just let you tell me how fucking much better it is than being in a band with like 5 guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's a little more simpler, as far as that goes. We don't have so many minds to compete with, but I basically sit down with a guitar every day and write and record riffs. That's like my therapy. I just do that no matter what. And then, time goes by, I start sewing a couple of those riffs together. The outline of a song starts to take shape. At that point, I feel it's ready enough to present to Bryn and see what he can wrap around it. And from there, the song takes life.
How often does the born in the studio, dies in the studio thing happen where you get crazy with 14 fucking guitar layers or vocals that don't
Yeah.
work when you're playing?
Right, man. Sometimes it's funny, like, you'll rehearse a tune, you'll play it live on the road, you'll take it into the studio, and then you just don't like how it sounds. Even though you got a perfect take, you're just like, fuck, it just doesn't feel like live. And so then we'll kind of go in there and overdub something on it. Actually, the song that, not to get ahead of us here, but the Black Forest Blues, that song totally changed in the studio. That slide line in there was not, we played it for 5 years without that, and it totally transformed the song. Um, not making it a die in the studio song, but I guess those born in the studio, die in the studio songs were songs that we needed to write on the fly because we needed more tunes, you know, and you got to have a certain amount of songs on a record. Not that like we're half-assing it or anything, but uh, some of my favorite things to do in a studio is write, like because you're in the moment, everything's set up, you got your brother's right there to bounce everything off of, and so much magic happens in those moments, I think. But then uh making sure you take that song out of the studio and get it tight for the road is another step we got to take. And
Sure.
there's a lot of songs that we're willing to do that with, we just haven't got around to it yet.
And I mean, everybody's heard stories about shit like Paranoid being written in the moment. I think COC's got one of their bigger songs was a thing that was written right there in the fucking moment. So yeah, like you said, everything's there. Why not fucking write while you're at it?
Yeah, man. And you got a lot of downtime in the studio where you're just dicking around, and Brent will drop a beat and I'll drop a riff, and then something explodes, and it's like, well, fuck, man, we'll cut that tomorrow. Like that sounded good. Let's do that.
That should fit in about track 7 on the album. It'll work out just fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like 12 albums, over 100 songs. What's left to write and play songs about that you guys haven't already done?
Oh, well, life will always take care of that.
Sure.
There's always something waiting around the bend for us. The struggles in life, man. That's what music is. We take the pain and frustrations and turn it into music. So there's no shortage of stress and anxiety in life. So
God knows
that's
right.
that's what we pull from.
How do you guys
It's
decide?
necessary.
How do you guys decide the set list while you're out on this? Are you playing the same thing every night, or is it a mix?
Yeah, we've never had a set list. We usually start with the first couple songs, like they stay the same, and then from there, it's all about what we're feeling, what the crowd is acting like. If it's high energy crowd, we'll keep it pumping. If they're fucking dragging ass, then we'll drag ass too. Like kind of shit like that, man. Everything plays into that. It's always different.
So you don't know. You sit down to play the first fucking song, you have no idea what the last song's going to be.
Right. Yeah. I mean, basically, a lot of our set takes shape with people calling out songs. Like, I think any music goer, whether you're a fan or a musician or both, when you go out to see a band, all my life, I'd go out to see a band and yell out for them to play that song, and nobody would ever play that fucking song. So we work hard at trying to do that for our people, because I know that's important to them. And don't get me wrong, like we tell them, sorry, we can't do a lot of that shit because I'm a dumbass and can't remember it. But at least we're acknowledging them.
What's your favorite song you play live?
Oh man, right now I think it's off our new record, Turkey Vulture. That's a real fun one for us. And what makes it fun is how the crowds react, and we get a real good reaction from that one every night, no matter where we're at. It's kind of a middle of the road, tunes, got some blues, got a little I don't know. I would never say I play country, but like I feel like there's a little country aspect to it that people that might not like the heavier shit can get into.
What would the perfect tour for you guys be?
Oh man. Well, fuck man, that's a great question, dude. They're never perfect, so I guess just where everybody's happy and everything's working out right. I mean, I don't know, man. It's a tough thing to think about there. We love going to Europe. Europe has been great. We've gone over there for 15 years, probably played over at least 500 shows in Europe. But I wouldn't say it's perfect because, you're so far away from home. It feels like you're on the other side of the moon. I really enjoy being in the U.S. just because I know I can put my hand on that ground and it's taking me back to my front door. That's a nice feeling to have no matter where you're at in the country. I guess just to give you a little bit better of an answer there, I'm just kind of floundering with this. We've been really enjoying opening up for people because, you don't got to play like 4 hours and you're the first band up and
you start drinking early.
Headlining's great, but like we're pretty big drinkers, so it's always like a fucking pacing game, and it's really like dude, obviously there's worse things to complain about in life, right? But like when you got to get to a bar at like 3 o'clock and you don't play till midnight and you're just sitting there, it's just like god damn, man. So opening's kind of cool. We got to do a great tour with John Garcia from Caius and another one with Weed Eater, and those are just blaster sets, man. And it kind of took us back to the day of our first opening tour, which was with Scott Byram and Bob Log III. And when you're that opener, man, you get that like nice little short set. You can play all your hits, your best stuff, and the night is still young when you're done. You get to fucking party and watch all the other bands, and you're not just sitting there like falling asleep before you play. Like I guess that was a totally like real answer. It might not be like rock and roll answer, but that's the truth right there.
I mean, I usually won't start drinking until we're going on stage and my band. So completely feel your fucking pain there because I know by the end of the night I always somehow end up damn drunk. And if I had to wait that long to start, that means I put in some work.
Well, bro, that's why I drink Miller Lite, because it make it right, and it's the Indiana Pacer, and you can drink like 40 of these things, no matter what time you start, no matter what time you finish, you're good to go.
If I don't understand how the endorsement isn't ringing right now on somebody else's phone.
I know, man. We're working on it.
You've got to have some good tour stories at this point. Give me a couple.
Oh man, yeah, we've had some blasts on the road. Fuck man, this is like something that I should just have stored in my memory banks every time. I've been asked this a lot. I don't know. In my 20s, I used to shit my pants a lot. That was really cool. We used to party hard, man. Since then we've mellowed out a little bit. I think the greatest stories come with just like the towns you show up to and the adventures people are ready to take you on. We are so fucking lucky that like we have people waiting for us in every town that just want to show us the best of the best. Like, it's amazing. I am drawing a blank on some of the crazy shit, man. We have had a whole lot of it, and I don't know why it's you think of anything off the top of your head? I know there's like 3 or 4 classic stories we always fucking forget to tell. God damn it, man. There's another thing about the road, man. Like, it literally just washes your brain away. Like, I've been telling everybody lately, man, I can't even like remember names of like classic artists. I'll be like, yo, man, remember that Jimmy guy? Jimmy Hendrix. Yeah, totally, dude. I mean, it's like, what the fuck,
Did
man?
you ever hear that one song of his? It was really good.
Yeah, dude, totally.
So from the Miller Lite ad to all the drinking to I used to shit my pants, now I don't as much. Every time I see a video of you guys playing, it looks like you're having all the fucking fun. I think we can go ahead and confirm that for the most part is in fact the case. Let's get another PSA out of you. How would you recommend other people go about having as much fun as you guys do?
Just give everything you got on that stage, man. There's nothing, no reason to hold back. And turn your mistakes into, masterpieces. I think that's always been kind of our motto there. Like, we give it all we got, and wherever a mistake or a fuck up may be, it turns into something awesome. Because you can't let it bring you down. And you also don't want to bring down the crowd. We're very aware that the people that come to see us have worked a hard job, a hard life, and they're coming out to spend their hard-earned money. They don't want to see a bunch of crybabies up there. So, we respect the fuck out of that, and we try to give that back to them, as much as possible.
So, speaking directly to your guitar playing and the slide and all that, it's obviously got its own sound, and it's great for what you guys do. Are there ever times when you guys are writing that you think, you know what, fuck it, I want to use a different distortion, I want to wail on this damn thing for 7 minutes, let's do something completely out of the fucking blue?
Yeah, in all honesty, we should probably do that more often. We've much to my it's my fault. I play in all open tunings, right? So it's kind of a corner you paint yourself in. Through the years, I've tried to find other tunings and whatnot. But it all, for me, just comes back to the riff writing. Like, I feel like that's where the only thing I can do is come up with a totally different sounding riff to kind of break up the quote unquote 12-bar blues. Not like we play that, but we are very aware of that, and we don't try to do that too often. And if we do, it's like we're Frankensteining shit, like sewing it together, and kind of like the I can't remember what that Beatles record was, where they always said they just pasted everything together and it turned out to be great. But that's literally what we do.
How did you get started playing the guitar?
My dad always had a guitar in the house, and his best friend, who I call my uncle, he passed on. My uncle G. Bob, Gary Hessler. They were huge Muddy Waters and Rolling Stones fans, and that was like all I knew as a child, as far as like adult music was, or not adult music, but the music playing in my house. So my uncle would try to teach my dad how to play. My dad could never really do much more than a couple licks, but he would always, be strumming on a guitar in front of me. And then when I was about 8, 9, 10 years old, I just grabbed it and started trying to do shit with it, and it became pretty obvious pretty quick that I loved it, and it was going to be a part of my life forever.
Over the years, has there been a piece of advice that you've got that stuck with you?
Yeah, man, I think Dan Auerbach from the Black Keys gave us some of the best advice ever. In our early years, we were chasing them around, trying to open up for them, and we'd give them our recordings, and hope they'd take us on. And I remember I was talking to him once after a show, and he was like, "You just got to get in the van and play 500 shows." And I think that's about as simple as it gets, man.
Yeah.
Get out of your fucking hometown, get on the road. You're going to lose your ass your first couple of years, but those seeds will grow. And that's like what we do, man. I mean, that's how it went for us.
How much attention do you pay to things like streaming numbers?
Streaming's a double-edged sword. Obviously, you hear a lot of musicians pissed off that their physical sales aren't there anymore. And don't get me wrong, that's a bummer. But for us, we're grateful for the exposure. I think streaming's great to allow people to hear you when they wouldn't have been able to. And as far as the numbers go, I don't necessarily think we live and die by them, but I think in this modern world, it's kind of become your stat sheet, as far as bookers and promoters, when you're trying to get gigs. Those streaming numbers kind of matter, I think, nowadays, especially because, Spotify ties it to the cities and whatnot, how many followers you got and all that stuff. So, but, we're on a label, and we don't own our own stuff, so that's kind of like their ballpark. They run all that shit for us.
when you look at it, are there ever cities or something like that strike you as fucking weird? Why the hell are we being played 1,000 times in Portsmouth, Ohio, or some fucking random ass thing?
Yeah, well, we see that and we're like, we need to get to Portsmouth, Ohio. So that's another good thing about that. It gives you not only the stats for the bookers that want you, but it also tells you where you should go and your markets to hit and whatnot.
So you guys have been at this for what, over 20 years in some way, shape, or form at this point. What are some things that are normal for you now that would have been just completely mind blowing back then?
I think the amount of work that we have, the opportunities that we have, like it's not hard for us to stay busy, and that's a really we don't take that for granted. Like we're very, very grateful for that. I think in the early years, it was biting and scratching, and I think we're always on the quest to quote unquote make it, right? But I think in our hearts of hearts, we kind of already did, because we're able to do this for a living and stay busy, and and in this world, man, that's about all you can ask for.
There's the opportunity to say what I feel like is the expected answer here, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. What's your favorite Left Lane album? What's the album someone should listen to get into Left Lane that's never heard you guys before?
Well, that's a pretty straightforward answer. It's our first album, Bring Your Ass to the Table. That was basically our foundation. Those songs we had kind of played for 5 years before we recorded them. Now, currently, that's not my favorite record. Currently, my favorite record is the new record, Bayport Barbecue Blues, because not only was it a resurfacing of me and Bryn together and cutting records again with my brother, but it was also dedicated to our dear brother who passed away last April, Chris Johnson, who is the founder of Deep Blues Fest and is the founder of our musical career. Really, man, it was all due to Chris that we got signed to Alive Records. He used to come to Fort Wayne and film us back before all the social media. It was during the MySpace days, and he would send Patrick at Alive videos of us, and that's how Patrick found out about us and became interested in us.
That's awesome. I did not know that.
Yeah, man.
What so with you and Bryn getting back together for this album, I know I've kind of already asked a version of this question, but how did writing and stuff go for it? Getting up to the studio, how many songs did you guys have? How? There's an end in here somewhere. Let's act like I found it, and I'm just gonna let you talk now.
No, I got you, man. Yeah, well, for this record, you got to remember COVID was sitting there way before that, so we were actually sitting on a mountain of material. So, unlike the past records where you're like on the road all year and you got 5 or 6 that are ready to go, and you're like, fuck it, we got to get in the studio. We'll figure out the rest later, that kind of stuff. Bayport Barbecue Blues was pretty much all well-rounded. I think we had like damn near everything locked down, minus maybe a couple verses. I think I wrote the verse for River Picker in the studio on the spot, and then maybe one other one, but that was about it. Everything was pretty locked down for this record.
You ever had writer's block?
I mean, it never goes away. I think writer's block is just a wall you got to break through, and if you can't break through it, you need to put it down and take a break. And I've done that in the past. I think I feel like right now, in my age, like the older you get, sometimes life gets, we're family guys, not that there's anything wrong with that, because that's our life, that's our dream, that's our passion, but it does become a little sterile at certain points, so we try to kind of break through that and break on through to the other side, so to speak. But writer's block is always there. I mean, that's just with you, and it's kind of like the struggle that leads you to the good shit. I mean, you need writer's block. I think it's important to. It shouldn't just all be fucking constantly shit you love. I mean, you got to have pain in there to get to the good stuff.
Something to fight through.
Yeah.
Where'd the name Left Lane Cruiser come from?
Well, me and Bryn were jamming together, and we didn't have a name. And all of us went on a spring break vacation with our girlfriends and our friends, and we were down in Gulf Shores, Alabama. I was playing an acoustic, and he was on a cajon, and we were just throwing out song, or like the whole group of us was sitting on the porch trying to throw out band names, and after one after the other kind of was shot down, Bryn was like, well, my mom had a dream when I was a kid. I grew up to be famous in a band called Left Lane Cruiser. And everybody was like, fuck it, that's it.
Fuck yeah.
Totally, dude.
As he pounds his latest Miller Lite there. I'm going to get you, we're going to round into the end of this thing here so that you can get back to those damn things in full.
Thank you, man.
It's been a lot of fun talking with you, Freddie.
Right back at you.
We'll do a round of what I've dubbed stupid fire questions, and then we'll go into the goodbyes and all that fun shit. Start this off with an easy one, coffee or tea?
Oh, coffee.
What's something you could eat for a week straight?
Peanut butter and jelly.
Beatles or the Stones?
Stones.
My guy. If you had to compare your music to an animal, what would the animal be?
A hog.
That was actually the last band's thing, too. That's funny. If you could ask one animal, one question, what's the animal? What's the question? Apparently, this is the animal section of the show.
Okay. Oh, shit. This one takes a second. Well, just to pump the new record, I'd ask a turkey vulture, what'd you eat today?
I think I know the answer to this one, too, but beer or liquor?
Oh, hell. It's beer now. It used to be liquor.
If you had a mundane superpower, what would it be? A lame superpower.
Like the ability to tune my guitar without doing anything.
That's fucking brilliant. I can't believe I haven't come up with that yet.
It's pretty lame.
It would work so great though. Scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
How good are you at keeping secrets?
Ooh, I'm real good.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Right.
In the vault.
Freddie's vault.
That's a 10.
Go-to karaoke song.
Oh fuck. I usually get down with some Huey Lewis, man. Back to the Future style. Power of Love.
Yeah. I wouldn't have bet on that.
Yep. I don't do karaoke too often.
Now, sausage, links, or patties?
Links.
All right, he's a links guy. I didn't see Power of Love coming there for karaoke, but I think I've got an inkling on this one. You, Freddie, of Left Lane Cruiser, get sent to an island by yourself for the rest of your life. You get to take one album with you. What's the album?
Well, it's been the #1 album in my life since my buddies in King Mud turned me on to it. It's Jimbo Mathis, Knocked Down South.
That was the bet here.
It's a great fucking album, man, and it really reminds me of the Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Street because it covers so many genres of music. It's got soul, it's got rock, it's got funk, it's got blues, it's got country, it's got it all.
I'm going to hear that album, if not tonight, then tomorrow fucking morning for sure, based on that recommendation.
Please do, brother. You won't be disappointed.
I'm confident in that after that. So at this point, I'd like to say thanks to Freddie of Left Lane for talking with me today. All the relevant Left Lane links will be in the show description, as well as podcast, Sonic Temple, and Brimming Horn links. Use them all for good and evil too, because why the fuck not? Wherever you're hearing this from, hit the old subscribe button for me, please, and thanks. Leave a review if possible. At this point, I'm going to turn it back over to you here, Freddie, for you to introduce Black Forest Blues. I'm sorry, that's twice I fucked that up. Black Forest Blues, and we'll go from there.
Right on. Well, appreciate you having us, Clint. Also would like to get a little thing in here about we're announcing our dates for our West Coast tour in December tomorrow, which I know whenever this airs is what it is, but we'll be out there all of December, so come out and see us on the West Coast. And Black Forest Blues is a tune dedicated to the Black Forest in Germany, because we've done a lot of time on those roads over there, and anybody who listens to the lyrics knows I'm bitching about my in-laws. God love them.